Yesterday, I want you to look at this really quick because this was a simple principle that I wanted to share with you, kind of this little small bonus tip. I just want you to look at the differences between these two settlement statements. The first settlement statement on the left-hand side was a settlement statement that the title company originally sent over to me. I looked at it and I'm like, okay, I reviewed some of these numbers and I was looking at if you look at this line item about halfway down, you're going to see, and by the way, can you see my screen? You can see my screen, right? Everyone, I assume can, yeah. So on the left-hand side, you see this where it says title owner's coverage premium to InWest Title Services, about $4,000 is essentially what they were charging me by way of owner's coverage policy. It seemed to me like it was a little bit expensive. And then I looked a little further, and that line item even right above it is $335 for a title settlement fee. $335 seemed like a lot of money. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it is a little bit larger sale price of 1.3, but at the same time, I'm looking at this going, man, this title company is definitely looking to get theirs. And so I simply just made a phone call to a couple other title companies and say, hey, what's your standard settlement fee? And by the way, if you were going to offer coverage on this type of property, what would your cost be? And they came back and said, hey, this is what it is. Now realize this was actually a cash transaction. It was a cash purchase. So I didn't have the opportunity to choose what title company I needed to that I could close with. In our state anyways, and every state's a little bit different. If you have a cash transaction, then the buyer gets to choose what title company to close with. So in this case, this is the buyer's title company. And if you come back over here on the second side, I basically got some of these numbers. I shot off an email to the escrow agent, and I said, hey, can you kind of help me with this a little bit? I'm a little bit confused as to what's going on at a $335 fee, and then on the settlement fee, and then as well as the owner's coverage, what's going on there. Now, I just want to throw this tip out there. You recognize that title companies use different underwriters. They, First American is a title company that they would use. That's an underwriter that they would basically subscribe to. Commonwealth is another one. There are really a lot of different underwriters that they use. So I basically just shot an email and said, hey, can you check any other underwriters? Who are you underwriting this with? She said, hey, on the first one, I'm underwriting it with Stewart Title, and I'm going to go out and shop this a little bit more and see if I can get it cheaper. And she ended up shopping it and going to Commonwealth and getting this for, $400 or $500 less. Because of a simple email and because of a relationship and understanding a little bit as to what's going on in a settlement statement, and literally probably 2 minutes of my time of saying, hey, do you mind just looking into this? Because in the past, this is what I've seen, and here's some of the other quotes. If we have the ability to sharpen the pencil a little bit, I'd love to do that. This ended up costing me $657 with just an email and knowing a couple of things there. Now, I just bring that up because I went to, I was telling my wife last night, $657 to me, and I would imagine to you, that's a lot of money as it relates to coming down here on this bottom line for a simple email notification saying, hey, do you mind just checking this out and looking into it? So I'm not trying to say she was trying to take advantage of me. She's probably just doing the normal thing. She normally just goes to, underwrite her little deal through Stewart Title, and we're great. But it's advantageous for us to look over these settlement statements at the end of the day and go, hey, what's going on here? Let's scrutinize them a little bit and just make sure that we're right. So I'm like, $657, like, I'll take it, right? And frankly, it's the same exact thing that we're doing here. And she's also picking up both sides of this transaction. So I felt okay about it. I just wanted to throw that out. And that goes with anything. It goes with plumbers. It goes with, I had a situation the other day that some guy wanted to tear up the sewer line and charge me 10 grand, when in reality, all we had to go do is come out and just jet the thing for $1,000. So lots of different opinions, get multiple bids, get different opinions. And, at the end of the day, you need to go in and be knowledgeable about this kind of stuff. So it kind of bugged me yesterday that I had to do this, but it was just, I felt like it was something that I wanted to share just really briefly with anybody. So anyways, I wanted to share that tip with you. What I'm excited about doing right now is jumping into this week's tribal training. Again, if this is your first time to our weekly tribal trainings, my name's Mike Baird. I'm the founder of the Smarter Real Estate Tribe. We do these every Thursday at 9 o'clock. We're going to bring in different experts or individuals who are just starting out, and we do some specific training, say, hey, how can we help your businesses grow and take your business to the next level? So that's what we're all about. There's the chat here. This is an interactive session. It's going to be between Patrick and myself and hopefully all of you. So guys, like, jump in, be a part of this, and engage. The more you engage, I think the more benefit you'll see coming out of this. So Patrick, I want you just for a minute. Here you are the other day. We were actually out checking out some properties. And by the way, Patrick is one of my one-on-one students right now where we work together and we're going through different stuff. And this was the other day checking out a different property, and he was, putting this into Deal Machine. Patrick, just for, sake of the group, tell everyone a little bit about your background, and you're kind of new to the real estate game, maybe 40, 30, 45 days into this kind of a thing, haven't done any deals yet, but tell everybody a little bit more about yourself so we can get to know you better.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. So I'm from Salt Lake. I grew up in the south end of the valley in Riverton. I live in South Jordan. I have been in academia for a number of years, helping doing development, fundraising for Utah State University. Go Aggies as you're drinking that BYU. There you go.
Maxim's hitting the nerd, so I got to do something.
No, and then before that, I was in medical sales for a long time, but a few years ago, I knew I wanted to get into real estate. So I got a one property, fixed up the bathroom, and it's a rental. And then I got a property in Lehigh. But I knew I wanted to scale up my business, and really get into it. I was having a hard time going. I met Mike at a meetup, a presentation, and I just knew I could use some help. I really do believe there's deals out there, but I just didn't really know how to go after them. And so it's been really fun. Been working with Mike. We don't have a deal yet, but I really feel like I'm close. There's some really warm leads right now that I'm chasing down. I've been doing a lot of Deal Machine, talking with anybody that I know that has some connection with real estate. And that's what will lead into this one that we'll be talking about. Just had lunch with a good friend yesterday who's a real estate agent. Tried to explain, she kept sending deals to me from the MLS, and we went to have lunch, and I really explained to her what I'm looking for, off-market type things. And right after that lunch, she said, I've got 2 properties you could look at. We haven't listed them yet, and let's go check them out. So this is one of those properties.
And by the way, guys, this is literally yesterday afternoon, right? So this is, Tucker called me last night. Let's, tell me more about this. Let's look into this. And I says, let's just do a live kind of deal analysis session. So this deal came yesterday off of a real estate relationship at lunch, setting expectations for that agent in terms of what you're looking for. And so here we are, right? So you sent a text and tell us a little bit more about last night. By the way, if you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat too. So we've talked about, I just want to go back and just make sure that we've covered these and everyone has a pretty good idea of every house that we're going to look at. We're going to go through this same exact process and analyze these 5 golden things. So size, we have a pretty good idea for it. 2,600 square feet. Just want to hone that thing in. Age, talking about 1971. I think we're good. Condition, dated, but doesn't need a ton of work. Our main 3, roof, windows, furnace, AC, looks like to be in good condition. So we're saying it's in good shape. Probably going to take 40. Style, we don't love the style. It's a little choppy. Those multi-levels are not my favorite either, but there's a lot of them out there. So we want to be very particular when we go and pull these comps right now in just a minute, that we're pulling like kind style and see if we can get some data out of those tri-multis. If we can't, then we're going to have to make some adjustments and kind of see where we're at. And that's not always a perfect science, but we're going to need to look at that and see what the data tells us. Location. The only thing I keep bringing up on this location thing, and I come over to this Google Maps idea, is Patrick, you've heard me preach it. I'd rather have you preach it than me preach it again. But what is it in particular that I'm looking for as it relates to this specific geographical location at 602 Pioneer? So let's do this in terms of creating an offer price and begin to talk. By the way, talk to me when you got there. Were you able to get an idea after you built rapport, after you did all that type of a thing, walk through the property? I imagine you feel like you have a decent relationship with them. Were you able, talking about the numbers, were you able to get a number out of them as to what they're expecting? A lot of times we like to get this number out of them even before, when we'll pre-screen a call or something. But by the way, Patrick, you asked me yesterday, should I go see it? I don't know if the numbers are really going to work. And I go, look, the value here is also in the relationship with this agent, right? Like you went to lunch with her, boom, there's 2 leads. There may be another one tomorrow or the following day. So we're developing that relationship. But how did the conversation go to numbers? How did you take it there?
Well, I just said, hey, I just asked him after a while, we'd walked through most of the house, is there a certain number that you've thought about and that you would like to get? And he said, well, I'm not really sure. He didn't really know. And then he said, but the neighbor's house, which is right across the street, very similar, sold to, he thought, to some investors, but they've been rehabbing it for like a year. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. But he said it sold for $350. And he said that was a crappy home. The people never took care of it. We every time we went over there growing up, like we always felt like we had to come home and take a bath. So I think in his mindset, he would probably want more than $350, because he said that home sold for $350 and it's a crappy house. Ours is an awesome house. That's his mindset. So I don't know.
Okay. So yeah. you kind of just you ask the question and he came back with something, right? You're like, hey, tell me a little bit more about what you'd like to get on pricing. What would you like to get out of it? What are your thoughts there? Again, a lot of times it's nicer to get this number out of folks prior to even seeing the property. In this case, there was another relationship. I thought it was important to validate this relationship. So the question at this point is, $350, is he up in the night, or is this a good deal, or what is it? How can we, serve them best? You're not a licensed real estate agent. I would have somebody on your team that's vested with you, equally yoked with you, that can go and do some of this analysis as well. Or you just need to turn to your folks and say, hey, I'm your agent. Say, I need to drive these numbers. I need to see actives under contracts and sold. I'm pretty particular about this because agents do have the ability to skew numbers in their favor, picking the right solds and that kind of thing. We want to be very, very, very real about this. Let's actually take this and let's expand it to 13. Let's go to 13. 13th is a bigger divider going up, and there's 3 in that swap. Crazy as to how crazy and busy this how active this market is right now with this low inventory. That's why you get multiple offers, nothing to buy. So let's just look, just out of curiosity, Serpentine Way, 2,300 square feet. Let's just check out this condition here real quick. Looks fairly nice, not super dialed, but yeah, about 5-7 years ago, somebody came in, put some granite in, got some mosaic backsplash. Looks like original cabinetry that's been painted with some new hardware and stuff. So we have some new kitchen updates and things there. Nice patio for sure. I like that. I wouldn't say this is like totally dialed in, but pretty nice, right? And decent space in that basement area. This is at $397. By the way, 1 day on the market. If I was you, Patrick, I was really serious about this, about making some offers and moves on this, I'd maybe call this agent, hey, I'd like to come see this and preview it. Take a look at something like that so you can really start to peg value a little bit better. Serpentine's on 10th East. So it's pretty close to kind of where we're at. And then we've got this, by the way, though, Rambler.
Yeah.
I mean, that space lays out better. Rambler, that space lays out better. 2-car garage. We don't have a garage. This has a 1-car carport. We have like a 2-car carport. We could potentially convert our garage. And $439, 2 days on the market on Savannah. my gut would be that these guys are just getting blown up by way of activity and showings right now. And let's go to this other one.
Yeah.
460. This has been on 3 days as well. Guys, Patrick, you good to go?
Yeah. Hey, that was awesome. Thanks, Mike. It was awesome.
Love it. And Shane, thanks for popping in those comps as well.
Yeah, those are great.
Anything else here? Guys, hopefully this was helpful. This is kind of what we do, just cranking into these things and just digging down, and this is what you got to get familiar with. And this is kind of a new market right now for Patrick to get into. And if you start to do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of these in that Sandy area, you have a pretty good idea to start developing competitive advantage on the next one. It's like, oh, about that one for 315, about that one for 320, about that one for 310, and just start to churn those. And, this process becomes a little bit easier. But I think it's a good learning curve here today. Again, glad you guys tuned in. Guys, definitely support us on the on this little thing that John Maxim and I are doing coming up next week. There will be no training next week simply because we will be down in Mexico on Thursday. So no training next week. But guys, appreciate the time. Love having you guys a part of it. And anything I can do, continue to reach out to the tribe, post on the Premier page, and we're here to help and serve you guys. So make it a great day, and we'll talk to you guys soon. We'll see you.